Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another exclusive AnglersChannel.com video up on Lake Norman with AnglersChannel.com pro staffer Robbie Dye. It is June the 24th, the hottest month in the history of Charlotte, North Carolina, and I think pretty much a lot of the southeast is the same. Robbie, water temperatures are 90 degrees on Norman today. You know, tournaments are starting to slow down a little bit. If you do have to fish tournaments this weekend, specifically on this lake, what do you got to do? Because, again, these temperatures are brutal.
Well, John, there's still a few fish shallow, believe it or not. I mean, early in the morning you catch some fish on top water, and once the sun gets up, either you're going to have to find some shade or go out off the bank, 15 to 25 feet, and throw a spoon. A lot of fish being caught here on this lake on a spoon, and I'm sure on other lakes throughout the country. So it's time of year when the ledge fishing is very big, and a lot of guys love this time of year because these fish get schooled up, and you can still catch a lot of fish if you can stand the heat.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the trick, stand the heat. You know, you're out here with your son Aaron today, and you're just commenting. It's fine when you're running, but when you stop, it's tough. And I mean, it's 90, 95, going to be hitting 100 today, something like that. Talk a little bit about throwing a jigging spoon. You know, I think there are a lot of guys that don't like throwing spoons. What's intimidating about throwing that type of presentation?
Well, there's not a whole lot to it. It's almost like filling air. I mean, there's not a lot of feel to most of the spoons, and it's actually the most easiest bait to fish, John. I mean, if you mark any fish on your depth finder, you just let that spoon down and fish it vertical is the, most popular way to fish it. A lot of guys have, will throw it out and wind it back in, but the vertical jigging spoon has probably caught more fish than any other lure on the market, and it'll catch all species, catfish, white bass, bass, smallmouth, it'll catch them all. So it's a great versatile lure. Very easy to fish. If you got your kids out, just drop it over and tell them to jerk it up and down, and they'll catch fish. I mean, it's like I say, it's not a lot there to do. I mean, you just pull it up and pull it down. When the fish bites it, he'll pull it back from you.
It's proven. All right, let's recap. Last weekend was the CBC on High Rock. The winning team won $12,500, I believe, with the contingency money. They caught almost 20 pounds on High Rock Lake on a very, very hot weekend. What do you think they did?
John, I was there, and those guys, I think they were dragging a worm out deep. All the guys I know that fish shallow, including myself, we struggled. We caught some fish, but nothing like they got. I mean, the water temperatures over there is the same way, a lot of boat traffic. I'd say, 15 to 18 foot range on a football head or maybe even a Carolina rig, but they had a good bag of fish.
They really did, and boy, that contingency money on that CBC, when you hit those contingencies, it really adds a lot to your payday. I mean, to go to a team trail and walk out with $12,500 is just hard to fathom on a $200 entry fee. But, hey, man, good seeing you. We are in the dog days of summer. It just started early this year, and it looks like next week's going to cool off a little bit, folks, for most of us in the southeast. But cooling off is 88 to 90 instead of 98 to 100, so it's all relative.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to feel a little better, but, once you hit that 85-degree mark, there's not much difference. But I'm looking forward to some cooler weather, John.
Absolutely. Well, folks, always good to catch up with Robbie out on Lake Norman. If you're fishing a tournament or tournaments this coming weekend, be safe on the water, and we'll see you next week.